So are they still coming over?
Yeah, they still, because they come over, they're quarantined. You know, the parents don't work, they don't work, they don't go anywhere, we don't go anywhere.
Oh,
So
okay.
they come over, you know, we had another granddaughter was born last week, so we had to take my grandson so they can go ahead and have the baby, you know, at Stony Brook. So
Yeah.
he's
Oh
a
my.
3-year-old, and then we had a new one born
Now,
last week.
is it your son or your son-in-law?
It's my son.
Was your son
It's my
able to
son's.
be with, was he able to be
Yeah.
there, or was she alone?
No, they let him go. He had to go, and they tested him, and he was able to go, and he spent the night there. And, you know, he spent the whole time with her, but they let her out very quickly. It was like less than 2 days they sent her home.
Now, did she
So
have
it was
a regular birth or a C-section?
Regular birth.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they throw you out as
Yeah.
quick as they can.
As quick as possible.
It's like, pop that thing out and get the heck out of here.
Exactly.
Okay.
It was always like that.
All right. So, we're gonna get started. We might have some people pop in a minute. All right. So, this is Connor. Connor is our Zillow rep. He's gonna be guiding me to help all of you excel in this program. I had a conversation with him a couple days ago, and I decided to increase my spending with Zillow. There's been some people that have pulled back and shown some fear during this, so I thought it was a great opportunity to steal some other of our competition's position. With that, we've also gotten some bonus. How would you say it? Bonus impressions, Connor? How would you?
So what it is based on the commitment that the team has made to the investment, Zillow is going to match your spend right now by 25%. So every dollar you guys spend, we're adding 25 cents on top to get you more exposure. So right now, and you guys may have already noticed just in the last few days, an uptick. We are getting you probably about 30% more exposure and opportunities moving forward than we did even just a week or two ago. So today, and I'll let Peter go back to what he was saying, but today we're really going to be discussing is making sure everyone is doing what they need to do with the leads, because again, we're going to be getting more. And not only that, right now things are moving a little bit slower with clients. So having that pipeline management is going to be really important, so that once we do pick up steam in the summer, we have a good pipeline. We know what's expected to close, and Peter can feel comfortable with not only the spend, but that we're going to be seeing the return once these start closing. That makes sense, everyone?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the biggest hurdle that we're having is as leads come in, as things get busy, especially during the summer time, we're seeing a drop in answer rate, which is terrible. We've seen as low as like 67%, which means that we're leaving 35% of these potential deals undone for other companies to get. So, you know, I was talking to Connor about the process of trying to convert these leads, and he actually, you know, he suggested that we keep the calls under 2 minutes. So if that's the goal, we can find time for a 2-minute call to increase our activity by 35%. So there's a lot of money being left on the table for everybody here. So we just gotta be on top of it and know that, you know, a lot of people complain like other people are getting them. I don't know who's getting them. But if there's 35% left out, that was 35% of those calls that were free for you, that there was no competition. So you have to pick it up, you have to attack it, even if you have to figure out how to give them a call back or do whatever you have to do. We can't leave these clients to somebody else.
Awesome. Thank you, Peter. Okay, cool. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to chat over a couple of basics, make sure that everyone has everything in place that they need. And then we're going to go to a couple of processes that I want everyone to try to adopt moving forward. Peter and I are going to be monitoring to make sure, because I can see each of you individually and how you're updating your needs. So again, we just want to make sure that we're doing what we need to so that we can get visibility into what the pipeline looks like. Number one on the list is making sure everybody has the right phone numbers saved. So can everyone just confirm that they have the live transfer number, that 206 number saved as Zillow leads in their phone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. If anyone doesn't, just let me know right now. I'll read off the number to you, but everyone should certainly have that saved and answer it as often and as quickly as they can.
Can you just tell me that number again?
Yep, it's 206-539-0456.
Oh, that.
Okay. And then one thing that a lot of agents and brokers are unaware of is that there's also a direct call number. So if somebody is on Zillow and they see RE/MAX Integrity Leaders as an option on a listing, if you just call the number on the profile, that will ring to your cell phones as a different number than the 206 number. So I'm going to read that number right now, and everyone just write this down if you can. This number is 631-203-1952. So again, the reason behind that number is that Zillow did not validate them. Because they tried to call your team directly, we are not going to interfere with that call. So just know I would save that number as something like Zillow profile lead or Zillow direct call or Zillow selected call. However you want to make sure it's different, so you know those 206 calls, a lot of transfers that you need to answer. The 631 calls are consumers that saw your team profile and wanted to reach out to your team versus anybody else in the area.
Okay.
All right. So I just find that a lot of teams miss those direct calls because they're like, oh, it's a 631 number. I don't know who that is. It's someone, probably a family or a friend. Just know if it comes from that 631 number, that is a client that's calling through Zillow.
Okay.
Now, what Jared said with answer rate. Right now, we're a little bit below where I want us to be. I expect my broker teams to be at 80%. All right. I do have teams that are above 90%. So again, we have a good number of people. There's at least 5 phones ringing every time that 206 number calls you guys. So again, I do expect 80% or higher. So just do your best moving forward. When that 206 number rings, just do your best to answer as many as you can. Any questions, concerns, comments so far?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, a couple of things here. So 2 things that we're going to go over now. One is the process for the initial call, how we would like you to handle the call. And Peter alluded to the short 2-minute. The truth is some calls, based on how the consumer reacts or the questions they ask, it'll go above that. That's okay. We're not expecting you to cut a client off. Handle it as you would any other client. But the purpose of the initial call is to set an appointment. So the expectation, and something Peter and I are going to be working on, is there's a new process that's come out through Zillow where we can monitor calls. Essentially, we can listen to the recording and we can grade you on your call and make sure you're hitting certain questions or points that we want to make sure you're hitting before you set the appointment. Number 1 is one of the first questions you ask should be, when can you see this property? And I know right now we're in the midst of COVID and we're in New York. I'm here in Astoria. So I get it. It's maybe not as prevalent as it normally is, but at the same time, that's why the consumer is reaching out. It's about a specific property. So you want to address that question and see either what question they have or when they can view that property. And use your virtual options. If you're comfortable to go see an empty house by yourself, FaceTime with the consumer. Type of activities are getting clients and agents getting those clients down the line. So use what you have availability to. Use those virtual options. It will help. Okay. So again, you pick up that phone. John, this is Connor over at Remax Integrity in Center Reach. I'm one of the experts in the area. I saw you inquired on 12 Main Street. When can you see the property? That is a great opener. Identify who you are and where you work, and then identify the issue that they called in with, which is to get visibility and to see that property. Once you ask that question, what we like you to do is 2 more things. So if you want to write down this acronym, it's ALM, and it stands for appointment, location, motivation. Okay, so you ask for that appointment. When can you see the home? Saturday at 2 p.m. Perfect. Now, why that property? What is it about that home that you like? Is there other homes in the area that you've seen on Zillow that you're also interested in? That will get them to talk a little bit. Maybe they don't, which is okay. They'll give you an idea of why the 2 bedrooms, why the 3 bedrooms, get you an idea of what you're going to add to that showing or what other properties you can bring up if that listing might be already have an accepted offer. So with the latest, inventory issues, and I know here we're getting a lot of offers. Before all this happened, we were getting a ton of competition on the buyer side. Don't pull up the listing and tell them right away, oh yeah, it's not available. You're going to end that call right there. So get them a little further down the line, uncover what the motivation is to move, why that location, why that price point. That will give you a little bit more ammo in case that property is unavailable. Does anybody disagree with that or have any comments on that process?
I just want to say, because there's a little bit of feedback, I just muted everyone but myself and Connor. So when you have something to say, you can unmute yourself or raise your hand and I can unmute you.
Yeah, I had a lot of feedback. So can you say what ALM means again? I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put my headset on.
Okay, is that any better for everybody?
That's a lot better.
Okay, perfect. So ALM is appointment, location, motivation. When can we see the property? Great. What is it about that property that you liked? What about the area? Is there a specific town you're looking for? Are you open to a few different towns? Get them talking a little bit about that. And then the motivation is, what's the motivation to move? Are you downsizing? Are you getting a larger property? Are you moving from a different area? So just try to uncover the opportunity after you identify the appointment and get that set for yourself. And as you can see, like that process, when can we see the property? Why that property? Why are you looking to move? It's not a tremendously long conversation. So usually what we see is that 2-minute approximate call time is the most effective in terms of conversion. So you don't need to go on for 30 minutes and provide that value at that time. You're identifying what they inquired about, you're setting the appointment, you're getting a little bit more information, and that gives you time to prep your showing, see the properties available, and then you can always call back, let's say a day later, to confirm the appointment and update on the properties that you want to show them. So that would be the most effective route for you guys to go. Okay, so that is the call process. It's very simple. I've actually listened to some calls on the team. You guys are good agents. You're doing a lot of these things. I would just reinforce, one of the biggest things that we see is that first part, not identifying who you are or where you're from. Zillow's not telling these people, we're connecting you with Christine at Integrity Leaders in Center Reach. Like, they don't know who they're talking to. So when you pick it up, just make sure you do identify who you are, why Zillow connected the consumer with you.
And that should be any call that you don't recognize or that comes in. When my mom calls me and say, hi, Peter Gross, our Remax Integrity Leaders.
Right.
It's ingrained in how I live my life.
Right. And it's all small things, but these things do make an impact. So just try to remind yourself. And as I said, as Peter and I start putting into place call listening, you'll get more feedback, not just from me, but also from Peter. So just get used to the fact that we are going to kind of make sure that we're hitting these points and doing the calls the right way. Okay, so all of that is good. We understand what the process should be with the calls. The biggest issue that we're having as a team right now is not utilizing the app to update the leads. So when we don't update leads, you could have an amazing call, set up a showing. I don't know what happened with that person after that call, and neither does Peter. So when we talk and he's saying, okay, great, how are things going? I say, well, the calls sound good. It sounds like appointments are being set. But after that, I have no idea. You're going to have to ask your agents where they are with each client and get an idea of where the conversion is going to come from. So the big thing that we really want to focus on today is making sure that you guys are updating the status of your leads. So if you guys can raise a hand, who here knows how to update their statuses of their leads? Okay, good. All right, so we do got a bunch that do. All right, that's more than I expected. That's good stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and just briefly show you. Okay, is everybody able to see the screen here with the inbox in the background? Good. Okay, perfect. So right up here in the top right corner, this is where, and the truth is, like, there are advisors at Zillow that really want you every time you talk to a consumer to use the app, to respond through the app, to update notes. I'm not going to push you guys to do everything with your business on Zillow Leads through the app. What I want you to do is update your status. So when you look at the consumer in the top right, in communication is what it will be if you had contact with them via text or had a phone call with them. This is what we need to update. And there are a lot of options. So what I want to do today is make it super simple, where we're only going to use a couple of them. Make it really, really easy for you guys. I don't need you in here every day to say, well, we set an appointment, then I met with the lead, now he's actively searching, then he submitted an offer, now the agreement's signed. That's a lot of updating. I don't expect that from you. What I expect is, if you do set an appointment on the first call, mark it as appointment set, okay? If they are somebody who you feel is not making a decision immediately or in the near term and they're really just starting to take a look or they're browsing, casually searching, okay? So I would say a good portion of your leads will be casually searching, and those we're going to be incubating. If they are motivated, you want to put them as actively searching, okay? So as of right now, appointment set, casually searching, or actively searching. After that, the last thing I want you to be doing is either closed if the business was done, or if you would like, you can put it in as submitting offers or under contract. Those are the most important ones to use. If we can just get in the habit of marking the first lead, great, I set an appointment, you meet with them, you show them homes, just update that to actively searching. Once you do get offers and you know the client is going to be doing business, then you can put it in as submitting offers. And those we know will have about a 50% or higher close rate. If they're actively searching, that should be about a 25% close rate as well. So again, use it to your discretion, but if they're actively searching, you should be pretty confident that you have a good chance of doing business with that consumer. All right. And then one more thing that I'm going to show you, which is, it's something that you all can use on your own. It's also something that, so I'm on the team account right now, so I could see everyone's leads, and this is what Peter's able to see. If at the top of the page, so right now we're in the inbox, this is where you're going to be changing the outlook of the consumer. And again, you could put in your recent notes, you could even update the insights. That's all great, and that will help you in the end of the day. As I said, my concern is making sure that you guys are at least doing the basics of starting with updating the sales stage of the consumer. So let's just get a really good hold of everyone getting used to updating that, and that is going to help us tremendously. Now, when we are doing that, when we're updating sales stages, is everyone here aware of what My Agent is? That exclusive relationship. Once you connect with them, the consumer only sees you on all the properties they look at moving forward. if we're not aware of it, I'll just give a quick review. When you go to a consumer, and let's pick one that had a call. So this one's a good one to take a look at. So first thing I would do on any lead that's a live transfer. This one is 390,000, looks like a really good property, right around a 2-minute call. What I would first do is I would click edit at the top right. I would click edit and I would put in the person's first and last name. You know, you shouldn't have to remember what their name is or re-listen to the call. Just update, put in their information. And then once you do that, you're just going to update if they're casually searching, actively searching, or if you set an appointment. All right, so pretty basic. That should take you 30 seconds to do after you handle that first call. Now, when you go in your inbox and you see the blue bar that says view contact, what you're going to see is, because this was a live transferred call, you get exclusivity for 30 days on this client. And what that means is when I clicked contact, you see this information here. This is their activity. So you can click homes viewed 15. And you're going to see every property. And you can see this client is certainly interested in this property. They looked at this property at 12:40 p.m., 3 p.m., and then 8:45 p.m. They're all over Zillow and they keep looking at this same property. They've looked at it 7 times. So this is really, really good information. And when you scroll down, and you'll see there's quite a few for rent here. So be aware that this client may also be looking at rentals or purchasing. Maybe a really good conversation to have at this point, where interest rates are, where the benefits of owning versus renting are at this time. Just give you a little bit more information, but also it'll show you, other than the home that they inquired on, these are all the other homes that they were viewing, and it'll show a heart next to the homes that they saved. So you can also see the ones they saved, and that's going to just give you a ton of ammo when you do speak with this client and you say, oh, great, I know there was one in Selden that was 30 Ormond that I'm aware of. Is that one you may want to see as well? And you already know that they saved that home. So the truth is, like, I am sure some of this is new to you guys and you've been on the platform a while. What I'm really trying to explain to you is there's a lot in here that you can use that will give you a higher chance at converting the opportunity. The other thing I wanted to show you with My Agent. So again, you can check My Agent. You can look at the properties through your inbox. You just click that view contact button. But if you go to contacts at the top of your page, there's inbox, there's tasks. Contacts is one of the pages. Contacts, we have updated and created a lot of new features on, and this is something Peter's going to like because it gives him a ton of visibility. If I go to contacts and I click filters, there's a lot of things you can filter here. Their time frame to buy, if that's something you updated, statuses. So again, if we all are using actively searching, if I clicked actively searching, there would be a whole lot of people here that you guys have active in your pipeline that you feel have a 25% chance or higher of closing. That's the type of information Peter and I need, so we can say, okay, great, we have 20 people here. If we can convert 5%, we're going to get 4 transactions in the next 1 to 3 months just from our current active buyer pipeline.
So
Okay.
Connor, just so I understand, this may be people we've spoken to, even lost connection with, but then we can tell that they are still actively looking and searching for properties, so we know this is who we focus on to reach back out to.
100%. The other thing I like to sort by, Peter, is My Agent. So that exclusive relationship. You could say, hey, which clients do we have active exclusivity with? I turn it to active. I apply the filters. And you're going to see all of these clients. And look, these were created yesterday, May 4th, May 3rd. So these are all live transfers that have come in that you have exclusive relationships with. And right from here, you could click View Activity, and it'll bring you to that same page, and it'll show you what which clients are, what the homes are that the clients are looking at the time. So a lot of ways to utilize this contacts page. And for each of the individual agents, if you guys go to this contact page and you're sorting by different filters, it's only going to be for the leads that are in your name. So it'll be really easy for you if you just want to sort. Once you start updating sales stages, you say, okay, you know what? I'm going to spend the next 2 hours today prospecting some leads that I didn't have great success with. So you put it to casually searching. And all of a sudden you have people from February, March that were saying, oh, things are getting really bad. I'm a little scared. And you can recycle and get back through those opportunities in an efficient way without clicking through 100 different leads in your inbox. So contacts is another really good place. I use it a lot with my brokers. So if Peter wanted to say, you know, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set it to all relationships, all my leads. And then what I want to do is I want to sort it by recent activity. Recent activity is the consumer actually going on Zillow recently. So if I click that and sort it, so every person on this list was active on Zillow extremely recently. And the reason some say no recent activity is because you don't have exclusivity on them. So it won't show you what homes they're looking at, but it'll tell you, hey, these leads came in, but there's no relationship, so we can't show you what they're looking at, but we can tell you they're active on Zillow right now. All right. So I think, and again, I know I'm throwing a lot at you guys and it's kind of an initial team call. What I want everyone to walk away with after this meeting, number one, is using ALM on your initial call. Introduce yourself, ask for the appointment, confirm the location, and find out the motivation. That should be the initial call. After you hang up with them, update if you set an appointment, if they're actively looking, or if they're casually looking. If we can just walk away with those two processes, that is going to tremendously help Peter as well as myself give you guys feedback. And also, we're going to be able to expand the investment if we can track performance. And that's what the hardest job for me is. If I don't have the agents updating the information, it's hard for me to tell Peter how things are going, other than me actually listening to every call and hoping, well, yeah, that one sounded great. I assume John is working diligently with the consumer, but if you could just update the sales cycle, we have a lot better understanding of what we expect to close.
Are you done with the screen share?
Yes, and I was just going to say, I was just going to open it up to see if anyone had questions, comments, different processes that they're using that they wanted to chat about. So floor is open if anyone wants to chime in here.
Any questions? You're on mute, just so you know, if you're talking. Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Hold on, let me unmute you. Okay. Hello, Lindsay. Wait. I didn't unmute. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so exclusive access to the patient is when, to the the client is what?
The exclusivity is the My Agent. Okay,
Yeah.
so automatically, if you answer a 206 number call, a live transfer from Zillow,
Okay.
you are going to have exclusivity for 30 days. Every single home they look at in anywhere in your area on Long Island, they will just see Lindsay on every home that they look at. We'll remove all the other agents.
Okay, because I have noticed a couple of people, like I've had that, and then some people I don't have it. But I don't
Correct.
haven't sent the My Agent thing to them. And I was wondering why. Like I could see some people and then other people I can't see.
Yep. So again, because Zillow connected you with them and we validated them, those ones you'll get exclusivity.
Okay.
If you get a lead that says this lead, wasn't ready to speak, like those nurture leads that we give you, we won't automatically give you exclusivity.
Okay.
But on any of those opportunities, if you get a nurture lead and it said they weren't ready to speak, you call them and you have great success, you can, on that lead, you can go to view contact and it'll say in the top right corner, request My Agent.
Yeah.
That will send them an email. If they say, yes, I'm working with Lindsay, you get exclusivity for a year, not just 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime you manually get that client to say, yep, I'm working with this agent, your exclusivity gets extended for an entire year.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And we've seen that my agent relationships do increase conversion. The real reason is not because they only see you, they are definitely going to work with you. The reason is consumers don't understand how relationships with agents work. So if they reach out to you in one zip code and the next day they go to another zip, you don't want them to reach out to somebody else either accidentally or because they didn't understand they already are working with you. That's why we put that exclusivity in. If they inquire again, it just goes right back to your inbox.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Does everyone feel pretty comfortable with the call process? Just the ALM kind of approaching, getting to the appointment quickly, and then after the appointment set, kind of getting a little bit more information on the client and their opportunity? Good. Peter, anything that you would like to chime in as you are also listening to this?
Yeah. So, all right. So, one, I didn't know about that activity search. I think that's great. And there's going to be some people there that stopped 6 months ago. We can review those people and reach out and I think it's going to be a lot of great opportunity, especially as we're sitting home. What I would do personally was call if you connect with them, if they're actively searching, obviously they don't know the value that we have. I would pitch them that the office just offered or some type of value. That's why we're calling. So, if you don't remember them, or if you're not, not just checking in, then, maybe something like they're paying for half your inspection if you end up buying a house, or something that incentivizes you to be back into their life. And for the people here that are part-timers, or people that, that might, and this is recorded, by the way, so I'm going to send this out. So the other people that couldn't make it that are listening, if there's leads that you can't work, or leads that have a schedule that's different than yours, reach out, put it back into the pipeline, because, or find someone on the team that can use them. If they're on the Pocket Pete team, keep it in the Pocket Pete team. If they're on the exclusive, keep it, if they're individual agents, keep it in the individual agent realm. But we're spending a lot of money and on this. So it's in your best interest, even if you can't close a deal because of a schedule, that we keep this thing alive, because I'm cutting a pretty big check every month, expecting this to break even or do better. So I think that's important for everyone, that we get these deals closed.
That's exactly what I was looking for, Peter. I didn't want to say it on your behalf, but yes, that's the truth. Is we're making a large investment with Zillow. We know this program works. We know the conversion should be there. Just without you guys updating it, it's just hard for us to track, hey, this is where we're missing the boat. We're setting appointments. We're just not converting them. It's going to help us tremendously in giving you guys feedback if we can just get you to update the sales stage and just put in a little bit more information so we can monitor it. That's really the situation right now. Is we definitively made a stance where, as Peter said, we took more market share. We're in a really good position in a lot of these markets. The volume of leads it's already increased. As you said, you've noticed the increase, but I can see the numbers. The numbers are popping. So if we can just get you guys to be a little more diligent about putting people through the sales stage, it's going to give us so much more bandwidth to not only give you feedback, but to grow the investment as we're seeing conversion.
Okay. Anyone have any final thoughts or questions?
And I have a question.
Sure.
In what part of the conversation, because I think we were trained a little bit different, and I'm talking about, Rematch, and my company before was Powell Banker, like saying, why we're going to start taking these people out and we don't even know if they have a mortgage approval. I met with this buyer. She sounds very motivated. She wants to meet with me and everything. When I met with them at the house, I started asking more questions. They didn't even have an idea that they have to pay closing costs. I mean, in what part? Because otherwise, it sounds to me, very good, the stuff that you share with us, how we can attack this leads. But I'm getting a little, you follow me what I'm saying? Like,
I
in
know.
what part of the conversation I ask them if they're approved, what kind of mortgage they are approved for. Otherwise, we're going to be driving like crazy with this buyer, with the other one, and
Let me
I don't
let me
know.
take this, and you tell me if if you have a different opinion. And we have
Go ahead.
people in here that have been doing it successfully for a bit. What we found is, one, keeping the conversation short, and and being able to just meet them and get that appointment, not only helps the conversion rate. You may meet someone like that's not qualified or doesn't understand, but the opportunity to educate them and the opportunity to take control and give them a mortgage banker is much higher. The opportunity to take full control of the situation is much higher if you get in front of them versus trying to do it in that initial phone call. So
Okay.
John and Karen, I mean, you guys have done a lot. What are you thinking? Do you find that there's a lot of the people like Rose is describing, or you finding that you're able to take control of the situation a little better?
I find that before COVID-19, I would go out and meet people, and it's easy to go and see them and show them the house. It didn't take long, and then get in front of them, and I could sell myself better to them, in person, than trying to get to that. Sometimes on that initial phone call, I find that people are reluctant to give you too much information. They don't want you to be too pushy. They kind of back off if you go too hard at them with that lender stuff. So now I try to find a pre-approval, but if it's close, I would rather just go in front of them. Now, with COVID-19, there's a lot more moving parts to get somebody in to see a house, to try and get the other agent involved, the virtual showings. So now I've been pushing more for a pre-approval before I do that.
And I'll comment as well. So if it's a situation right now where the seller is not going to let someone see the home without being pre-approved, like if there's situations that merit it, I'm okay with it if it's needed. But the truth is, just like Peter said, so just to give you a little background on myself. So I'm from Long Island. I'm from Huntington. I was a financial advisor with Fidelity Investments out in Long Island for years. And it really does relate. I would never someone that walked into the branch asking me to review their investment. The first question I ask is, okay, where is all your money? How much money do you have? That's not going to be my first question, because I haven't provided value as to why they should be giving me that information and also working with me. If you're the type of person that has 20 clients, 10 closings a month, and you're just so busy, then honestly, it might not be right for you to be taking Zillow leads in the first place. So just to be really clear, like the truth is, like that client inquired to see the property. You want to get in front of them. Just like John said, once you get in front of them, you're going to uncover everything that you need, provide the value, and that face-to-face interaction is extremely valuable. That's where you're going to be winning the majority of the business. So I would just tell you like that, I get it. I have a lot of brokers and agents that still try to get a little bit more information before they meet with the client. The conversion rates don't lie. If you address the appointment, get it set, and meet with the client, you will convert more business from the leads that you're getting. You'll get more people to open up, and they'll give you more information. You'll lose some business by trying to get too deep on the first call, because that client at that point just wants to see that property or just wants the information that they were looking for.
I think that the pandemic has completely changed what I do, because I would normally just meet with somebody that first time. Like, I like being a buyer's agent. So I would never ask somebody without meeting me to sign off on a buyer's agent. But now, we can't show properties, but, and also with getting the pre-approval. So I've been explaining why we can't show, especially most of them are calling about occupied properties. Some of the virtual tours are not virtual tours, Peter, you know that. I mean, someone walking around, you have zooming in and out of a photograph is not a virtual tour. I had someone call on a Zillow lead, and we had wonderful conversations, several conversations. She told me how wonderful I was an angel. And the third conversation that we had, because I was explaining to her that I really couldn't take her out to see properties, that we are not permitted to do so. And she was begging me to. There was a couple of vacant ones. I was talking to Peter a lot about going out to see them, and we were back and forth about what was allowed and whatever. And all of a sudden, she's mentioning her friend's cousin, sister's uncle, who's an agent. And for the first time, I said, "Well, here, you have to sign this exclusive agent agreement before I'll take you out, because I'm not going to put myself at risk and my family at risk in order." So I think it's really a case by case situation. You know, I think it's a perfect time, besides the ALM that you were telling us about, to also, when you're explaining why you can't go and see these properties, to maybe just put in that thing. Do you have a pre-approval? You don't have to insist that they get it right away. You know, like Peter was saying, just take them out and meet them if we can't right now. I think it's the perfect time to explain to them, be prepared for when we can go out. You know, you can take this opportunity, which will extend the conversation a little bit. I mean, I have a whole bunch of people that are waiting.
And I have another piece of feedback that just to throw some ideas out, and some of you might run with it and love it. Others might stick with ALM in the initial process. I also have some Northeast agents that, because of everything going on right now, a lot of their appointments they're setting are like FaceTimes in the office with the client. So they're saying like, hey, how about we set up an appointment? We'll do a FaceTime together. We'll uncover not only what you're looking for, but I can show you behind closed doors what's available, what's out there. And you could do kind of a uncovering appointment and show them what's in the MLS, what's available. That can provide value, stand as an appointment, and give you the opportunity to go deeper with the client without having to meet them face to face. So keep that as an option as well.
Yeah,
I like that.
I've probably had 6 appointments, not through Zillow, but just, you know, through normal, you know, referrals and things like that. But we're talking about 2 different conversations. We're talking about the how to do it in the normal world, and today this is an opportunity. Whenever I say to someone, yeah, but you know, as you know, there's a pandemic going on, everyone understands, and then you can follow, but this is a great opportunity to understand the whole process. I'd love to jump on a Zoom call with you. By the way, RE/MAX has given everyone here Zoom. I'd love to jump on a Zoom call with you and just sit down and talk about the whole process. And this way you can build that rapport. You can look virtually eye to eye. And when they're ready and you're ready and the world's ready, we can close the deals. And if you want, because I've done quite a few of these, if you're not comfortable doing the Zoom, or if you haven't done the buyer consultation things yet, let me know. I'll jump in with you and we'll do the Zoom together.
Yep. And I think for the time being, with everything going on, if you're not comfortable meeting with a client, that is an absolutely acceptable way to do it. What I'm really looking for is a more in-depth appointment being set, whether it's face-to-face, video conference, video walkthrough, whatever it may be, but be able to get them to that next stage where you can uncover opportunity, they can meet you face-to-face in some manner, and then that will build the relationship. But try to avoid, Julia, pressing on pre-qualification, buyer's agreement in an initial 3-minute phone call. It is not, in all honesty, it's not going to get you the conversion that you're looking for. So just be aware of that. And I'm okay with going with a little bit of what Peter was saying or Karen was saying. Just be careful with how deep you try to go on that initial call with that client.
Okay.
Quick question. When you say appointment set, all right, you want the status as appointment set in the system. Is that an appointment set just for a viewing or a showing, or is that an appointment set for a FaceTime or a Zoom meeting? What type of appointment are you referring to exactly?
Just like Peter said, normal world, that's a showing.
Okay.
Today's world, I'm totally okay appointment set if you set up a Zoom call or some type of consultation with that client.
Okay, so just a consultation qualifies for that.
Yep.
Okay.
And then on that consultation, let's say you just have a quick Zoom call, it's 15 minutes, but you uncover they need to move. They're in the market to make a decision in the next 2 months. Maybe they even talk about the fact that they are pre-qualified or their finances in some way. That person would definitely go right to actively shopping. All right, so they're not casual. They have a motivation. They're going to probably be making a decision quickly. And that's what all I need you guys to do. Appointment set, casual or active. And then once you get them through the funnel, just let us know that they're submitting offers so that me and Peter can start forecasting what the revenue will be. If we can just commit to doing that, I'm telling you, we're going to be able to have so much more visibility and really plan for the investment a lot better.
And by the way, anyone who doesn't know with a Zoom, where you can set your Zoom appointments, you go through Mac Center, and it's one of the tiles that you can go in and click on and utilize.
Okay.
I know that we covered a lot today. We went a little bit over time, so I'm hoping I didn't hold anyone up from anything important today. I'm just going to open it up if anyone has any last comments or questions. Otherwise, what the plan is going to be is over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to set an appointment, or I'm going to set a call with Peter for about 2 weeks from now. I want you guys to just really try, use the ALM on the calls, and then just update the contact status. If we can just do those 2 things, I want to see what the follow through looks like, and that will give Peter and I a good understanding of what we need to do next.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank
Thank you. Appreciate it.
you.
You're very welcome. Everybody have a great day. Peter, what I'll do is I'll send you an email so we can schedule a follow-up to track the performance on everything we went over today.
Okay.
Awesome. Everybody have a
Thanks
great
so
day.
much.
right, you're
Everybody stay
welcome.
safe.
Bye, thank
Bye.
you.